Okay, so it's about 2:30 in the morning, and I've made a decision. I'm going to get that Starlink on my second check if money continues in February. On my second check, so the 19th, I'm going to set it up and get it. And I'm not going to pay the wood guy yet, or the two weird things that are. So the wood guy, when I've contacted him, it just kept being like, because he just is like, well, I'll see you next year when I bring out your wood. Just give it to me then. And because he was like, well, I can have you Venmo me, but I got to set it up on someone else's thing. And so then I waited, and I asked him if you got it figured out. And then he said, oh, I forgot about it. Just wait. So I'm gonna wait. And then I'm going to March, just get a money order and just send it to him. So I'm just not going to say anything for now. I'm just going to do that because he would be back at my house in a couple months, and then I would just give him the cash. And so that's the best solution on that. And then the weird thing with Archie is like they took the first payment, and then the second one I said, okay, the money's in, like early. I said, the money's in there. You could go ahead and take it. And I've never heard anything from him. And I know I don't know what's going on. Maybe the girl who does the booking thing, he's got some stuff going. At first I thought it was the holidays and stuff, but they've not said anything to me. And they haven't sent me, the little thing like your papers that you are the parent now, and then you have to get it set up on the chip thing and stuff, which that costs too, right, when you do that. And so anyways, they haven't said anything. So if they say something, I'm just going to say, hey, I've had an emergency. I need to pick that back up in March. So I'm just going to do the same thing with them, put them off, because it's like I got to invest into me. And the Starlink can follow me anywhere. And I guess that's what they've been using in North Carolina too, so that they have service. And so that, and doing the videos, like, to go and download. I couldn't believe it yesterday. So I had one that was an hour and 18 minutes or something like that, and then one that was an hour and 8 minutes. And so I go, and the first one was the hour and the 18 minutes. I put that on, and it's slowly going. I'm like, oh my God. And my whole ride into town, I'm just like cussing my head off. It's like, oh, son of a fucking bitch. How long am I going to have to sit there today? And I was so pissed at myself because I forgot to bring my crocheting. Every time I go, it's like there's nothing to do. You're just sitting in a car in front of a place, and it starts being like they're going to come out and tell me there's no loitering. What am I doing? And stuff. And so it's uncomfortable. And anyways, so and I did go into Safeway and get water. So they have a water machine, Primo water, which is probably just fucking toilet water too, and 50 cents a gallon. So I definitely don't like the taste of the water out here. If I could find somebody who had a well. Another thing too, like if my daughter was getting wanted anything to do with me, I'd be able to go over and sit and hang out with her and download. So I'd have, I was like, man, I'm sitting there in the parking lot. I was like, oh my God, I've got no friends here or anything anymore. I don't even, it's just like the weirdest thing. And because, you would just go over to someone's house and sit and hang out and visit with them, have some coffee, and let your downloads go. But no, I'm like a homeless person going from store to store. It's like I feel so shady. It's so I don't know. It feels so weird. And I know this is like a lot of people are having to live like that, and it makes you feel yuck. We should have everything we need. It shouldn't be like this. I just seen it like that one movie I just watched, and it was like in the 40s or whatever, where the guy was having to steal. And when he told his kids, it's like, a poor man becomes desperate, and a poor man can become a criminal. And it's so true, and they know that. They've done it on purpose. And I think that that's why they program it into the movies, by the way. It's just to give you a little like, well, if you're hungry, you could always steal so you could be a criminal, because then if we catch you, we'll put you in prison, and we'll make money off you no matter what. That's their scheme. And, what was that? That was just, oh, yeah, okay, oh, yeah. I have a few things that I wanted to talk about. The so anyways, so I go up there and sit and wait, and so the one that I put on second was the one that was one in 08, and it just started flying past the other one, and I was like, oh my god, because the one that was taking 3 hours the other day, it was like 117 or 112 or something. And so then, and it was going so slow. And the guy said, well, that's a huge thing to be downloading, when he asked me what I was downloading and how long it was. And so I've definitely noticed the ones that are 108 go really fast. So I'm going to try that now and see how that goes for the next couple weeks. But that is my plan, by the middle of the middle of February, to get that Starlink. And I just feel like that's more mature and responsible. And so I'll pay back my mom the money I borrowed, pay back my son-in-law for doing the bathroom, get all those things paid off, and then just not mention anything to the wood guy, because he's not that worried about it. And then just have to, put myself out there and be vulnerable with the dog people. It's like I can only do what I can do. And then once I get those things situated, then I got to start, figuring out like where I'm going, what I'm going to do, if I'm going to get a camper. I think probably if it keeps dragging and dragging, that would probably be the first thing, is to get a camper so I could sleep in my car wherever I was. And because there's no telling, if this just drags and drags and drags, like there could still be fires here. There could still be evacuation necessary here. And yesterday, this Mount St. Helens movie popped up on my thing from the 80s. And so I watched it, and it was talking about that when right before a volcano and stuff, the birds and everything, they start going in the wrong directions and stuff. Those geese over there are going fucking crazy. It is so fucking loud. I swear to God, it's not. It's weird. It's weird, and I feel like nobody even says anything or pays any attention. It's just like it just blends into the noise of the world or something. And to me, it's like, oh my God, these geese are just all out here going crazy. It is January. Like, they should still be south. They shouldn't be coming up until like March, I don't think. I need to look up I was going to do that yesterday. Go and look up their flight pattern and times and stuff, but it seems weird to me. And the way that they're just squawking and squawking and squawking, they're going crazy. And more came in yesterday when we were out walking. Way more. It's like so full over there of geese. It's like, what in the world? This is so weird. I mean, it's too cold to go further. And I don't know. It's really weird. But one thing is there's more going on with this Native American situation. Now they are going and they're causing a ruckus. I don't know if they're if they're trying to say that they're going to have to deport these people, or what the hell they're trying to do. Like, it's so absurd. But don't forget, this is all about our freedom and our sovereignty and stuff. And all of these tribes have been forced to take a knee to the crown and the crown and the church and the crown. And so the tribes have all been forced to take a knee, and then have been moved out, into ghettos and stuff, and disrespected. And so this is their time. This is their full circle. This is when they stand up to the beast. And look how hard it has to push. Like, I mean, it's crazy. These are the native people to the land. This is their ancestral land. And then these people say, well, it's our land, and we don't classify you Americans. So I don't even know how. I mean, I know how it's going to play out. My nose just drips and drips and drips, and it's so sore again. Just drips and drips. It's probably because of the cold, but I'm not even fucking kidding you. The fog out here is fucking crazy. And the orange of the agent, it is no fucking way. The sky is crazy looking. I just can't believe when I start trying to tell somebody I just come across as this crazy whiner, and people are just like, don't, like, it's so weird. I'm not nitpicking what's going on. It's just like people are just not paying attention. It trips me out. And so this screensaver my mom has on her, because I have her Fire Stick. That's how I got TV. And so I got one of her Fire Sticks off of her TV. But her screensaver thing is all these pictures of everybody. And it catches me all the time. And this one of my sister's kids, I'm pretty sure this is my sister's kids. They're so fucking grown up. It's so crazy when your sister moves so far away. Like, we're two opposite ends. And, neither of us have had lots of money to be able to go over and visit and stuff. And so our kids have just grown up away from all of us. And it's just so crazy. They just look so grown up. So weird. When I had last seen them, they were little, rotten little bratty kids doing rotten things. And my kids were all grown up. And it was like, it's so weird because me and my sister never were in the same place at the same time. Well, we were a long time ago when we were going out in Hollywood and stuff like that. And going out and dancing and stuff. That was good times. That was some good times with her. Because we were totally on the same level then. But I already had kids. She didn't have kids yet. I was already a mom, divorced. I was like way ahead of the game back in the day when people were just like getting married and stuff. I'm already divorced. Like, I've already got kids, packing my kids with me. So anyways, so to move on from this, let me think back where I was. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, they're going after the tribes, but remember, this is a full circle. This is where they get pushed so much and they all come together, which I've seen where they've been saying the elders are coming together and stuff because they have to fight the beast. They have to stand up to the beast, which will happen. The beast is going down. That's just the way it is. And all of these things, though, are the things that take it down, I guess. But it's crazy. Like, when I knew that they would be doing shenanigans, it's like they always go further than we think. Like, start telling the Native Americans, well, you're not really American. It's like, oh my God, it's so absurd. It's hard not to laugh. Oh, which, you want a good laugh on this one? So, what did we just have MLK Day? And then shortly after, they've released the information on him. And I just saw somebody so outraged over the information. They are like, I can't believe that they have put this person. It's like they've got us on the George Floyd situation. the guy, oh my God. His ties are, of course, Rockefeller Rothschild. And he's full on commie. That is so funny. And my mom would be like telling me like, oh, you better not like those. About God, Martin Luther King, he's our hero. I was like, the flipping of the world, the somersaults are happening. It's like, it's insane. It's so, but see, this is what the unmasking of the world. This is when people have to see the truth. And it's all this like, whoa. Oh my God. Yeah. So, MLK, which don't forget too, they had, the person was saying they haven't even released the other stuff on the JFK, all that stuff. This is just the MLK, and she's like, you gotta go look at it, go read it. You're gonna fucking can't even believe it. And but don't forget, like on the JFK thing that I had seen on that one family that was in Arkansas, as it was after the dams had flooded the places, and there was all these people, these Appalachian people on TikTok who were talking about their family heritage, and that this has been done over and over, that they have gone in and flooded whole communities, and they've got whole communities underwater, like they killed all the people. And there's people's families who have these stories of this happening. And the one that was, I can't even remember the name of the town now. I said it months ago, I think. But it was on his order. You know? I don't know. It's just, yeah. I mean, well, I don't know. I don't think I saw it coming when it was Mother Teresa. Like, I was really, the people who, yeah, because Charles Manson too, they really flipped that one on me. Because I really thought, he was this really bad guy. And they did so much propaganda, books and everything to really push that narrative. And so I thought he was, I thought Mother Teresa was a good one. I thought MLK was a good one. This world is so upside down. It's so fucking absurd. Oh, God. Oh, my God. It's so, I mean, you gotta laugh. It's like so ridiculous. So, anyways, we got those two crazy bullshit things going. Oh, I'm only 15 minutes in. Oh, my God. Okay, so let me see what else I got. What else I got going? I gotta think because I haven't really been going on to that. Thank you very much. I've been working a lot on my blanket, and yesterday, oh my gosh, it was like the best thing ever. Yesterday, when I opened the garage door, Max and Archie will just take off. They'll just take off. It is so fucking cold out too. It's in the teens, and they will just take off and they will be gone. Yesterday was a half hour, and the whole time it's like, fuck, I have no idea. I don't know if there's coyotes out there. I don't know if somebody's gonna run over them. I don't know if they're gonna get lost. They won't come back. And every time I go and listen, though, I never heard Archie screaming his head off or crying or barking or anything like that. I think they start chasing deers or something. It's some huge deers. There's so many deers out here. There's some huge deers up by the garage door. And so I think that there's a lot around there. And they probably, when they went outside, and they start chasing them and just take off. But those two just are, they are so naughty together. They are seriously like the Lost Boys, or they remind me of these two little, or like Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer. Swear to God, they're just like these two little orphan boys that are looking for, in the way they snuggle up and stuff, and the whole way that Max is like redhead. So, anyways, that's what they remind me of, and they took off. So, anyways, I kept on trying to figure out, like, how do I make some kind of fence around here? And so I was asking my mom, like, could I take down some of this other fence you have and put it, the post knocker thing? And she's like, yeah, I tried to put something in, though, the other day. The ground's so frozen. I don't think you'll be able to do it. And I was like, shit. So, anyway, she helped me come up with the thing. So, we've got them a little yard thing. And they've got parts that they can see and stuff. And so, then they went out and they were just so excited. I was like, even though it's really small, but it still is some kind of parameter. And it's just so crazy when you don't have something, how much the smallest things that you can appreciate them. Or it's just like, oh my God, this is the best thing in the whole world. And it's so funny going from my big yard where it is honestly, I would sit in that house and I would just keep thinking, I need something bigger. I need something bigger. I need something that is not under this fucking water and poison all the time too, which I don't know. I kept seeing protest live videos yesterday, and I don't know. I mean, last time when they did that in 2020, then all of a sudden my mom's face pops up and is watching me. When they did that in 2020, they would definitely do stuff, and it would at night really break out. And so last night it could have broke out into more of the RIOTSs, that's for sure. So I'm sure that that's set up to have some of those things. And it's so crazy too, if you even say anything on TikTok or anything about the deportation situation. Those people are convinced, like, he's going after regular people. They're busting in people's homes and stuff like that. I don't think so. I mean, and if they do go after certain people, it's like it has a purpose. It's not just for no reason. There's a purpose for it. And some people's purpose is to create the change, because all of this stuff is leading to this freedom of us, the freedom of mankind, our opportunity to live free as we were born to. And so it's that's why all this stuff is happening, is to break us free from this system. It's like this prison break from this lab that's had control, and not just control of our lives, but control of our minds. That's what's so trippy. Control of people's souls. Like, people have forgotten who they are. And they are so caught up in this, trying to please this system, that they become something that they're not. And, like, you know, when I watch these old movies and stuff, it is so full of propaganda, so full of crazy shit. Just like this one, a title, I didn't turn it on, but it was like Three Bad Sisters. I'm telling you, they were really trying to market women as being crazy and immoral, and they needed men to keep them in line and stuff. And that's all propaganda. That's all programming. It did so much programming, and about war, about division, about communist, like all of that stuff. And so there was such a push on some of that. So I'm not surprised that that's the kind of stuff he would be involved with, because it was during that time. You know, just like during this time, some of these people are involved in making us sick. And you know, I wonder too, just like the people who are up there flying the planes. The other day when I drove into town to download, I couldn't believe, it was like totally blue sky. So I'm driving from here. It's this weird sun, this weird fog, this weird orange, and all this stuff out here, trapped in this little valley thing where the lake is or something. drive and go, and get into town. And there's still some weird stuff in the sky, but they were going, and it was pretty blue, like it's pretty open and blue. And then they had like eight going at a time. There were so many going in. Another thing that was weird about it is that they looked like they were flying straight up. They looked like they were going straight up like a rocket. And the lines were going straight up, and then you would get at a different angle and it would be going a different way. I was like, man, there is weird shit going on. Such weird stuff. And yesterday when I was in the parking lot, I tried so hard. I was looking in all these cars trying to find this heat thing that this guy was, well, it wasn't just one guy. It was like 6 guys coming in and telling me what an idiot I was, because that's the heat coming off of the car. Well, that's so crazy, because I sure the hell can't find it anywhere else. I looked all yesterday. I'm trying to like look and see. No. And it's fucking so cold. So cold. The car, like when I heat up my tea water, it is only hot for a couple minutes, and then it starts going cold. The cars are covered in ice and stuff. Like whatever it was that was coming off of there, I don't care what those guys were saying. It was coming off the side of this other car. Like it's energy. It was like this energy that was like I don't know. It was weird because it was further back, like I could see, which to me is like the honeycomb thing of the energy. And it's just, I don't know if we're being able to see more waveforms or something, but I still say I don't think it was the heat coming off of the car. And I don't know. I just think that there's like not even a conversation. It's like science says this and you're an idiot because you don't know it. It's like, okay. I was like, you don't even look at the metaphysical, which, you know what I was thinking about too, because I was thinking about that, and I'm thinking about the metaphysical and all these people that are all lost from it and don't think about it, believe in it, and all that. Don't believe in it. That just cracks me. Oh, I don't believe in that. Good luck to you. And so yeah, but I was thinking like metaphysical, and I was like, that's so weird how he named it meta. It's like short for metaphysical, I betcha. It's like this alternate reality. They're trying to suck us into this alternate reality. And because we are in a different reality. We're in a different reality than most people think, because they don't believe in this reality. That's why this reality has to show itself. It's got to have the big reveal, because so many people don't believe in it. Oh, I don't believe in that. I believe in science. Oh, God, yeah, man. Oh, you know, when I got home yesterday from the downloading, which I was so frustrated while I was sitting there. I could not believe how much longer that one took. It was an hour and a half longer for that fucking video to go. And I'm sitting there, I was so frustrated. I went from Safeway to Starbucks, And then sitting in these different parking lots, moving spots, and I always think that the employees are sitting there watching me. What do you think she's doing out there? So, anyways, but by the time it completed and I was done, I was like, I felt like such a relief. So I didn't go home being all pissed. I felt like, just feels like I accomplished it. It's done. I don't have to worry about it until another couple days. And then, and next time I am taking my fucking crocheting. And so anyways, I get home and I come in and my mom's all upset. And she just finished talking to my brother. It's not good. It's not good at all. I'm just like, it makes me sad, man. Because, like, I don't know. There's so many things that I know I could do that could be helping him, but it's up to his wife. She's the do all say all, and she's deciding what's to be done and stuff. And he's deteriorated really quick, and he has a real problem talking. He can't use his right side. He's in a wheelchair. Fuck. He's like 61 years old. That's crazy, especially when, we're fixing to find out we can live hundreds of years. But, you just don't know everybody's storyline. You don't know what everybody's doing here. You don't know what everybody's purpose is. You don't know. Just sad. And then my mom sat there, who's just being so sad too, and she just started writing this whole list of everybody who's died in our family. And then I go up there to do something or say something or whatever, and she's like, here, let me read you a list. Tell me what these people have in common. It's like 3 people in, and I'm like, they're all dead. Like, what? What are you doing, writing down everybody who died in our family? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, and she's reading them all to me. I'm like, oh my God, it sounds so huge. The list is so huge when you read it like that. Like, fuck. Because in our family, too, we've had some family members, one thing about Dickie, if you don't remember who Dickie is, he was the love of my life when I was first out the thing. He was the person I was obsessed with, and I was madly in love with him, but I wouldn't tell him. It wouldn't matter if he would ask me anything. I just had to be all nonchalant, cool. Like, I can't be all like vulnerable. What? I can't sit there and say I like you, because then you're gonna probably laugh at me and tell me you don't like me, and tell me to like get over it. And so I just was too cool, and I was always just going and taking off and going and out with all these other. I mean, I was out every night dancing, every night, and that was like my fucking. It was so fun too. God, I loved that, man. I just wish that I would have loved it enough to just stay in it. I wish I didn't have so much stuff, so much drama and stuff, but that was, my life started on my choices at that time, and they had to play out. And anyways, what it was sad to me was his family had tragedy stuff. His brother and his sister-in-law were both killed in a fire while we were. His brother was one of the security guys at the bar I worked at, and then Dickie's band would come there and play all the time, and so Ricky, everybody knew Ricky, and Ricky had a wife. I can't remember her name. It seems like it was Carolyn. And she was really nice and stuff. And then they just lived, not very far from the bar in some apartments. And the apartments started on fire. And they thought they had to go in. They had no way to get out. And so they went in the bathroom and they went in the tub. They were like waiting to get rescued, I guess. And smoke inhalation killed them both. It was so sad and it was so tragic. They were like 25 years old or something. Also, I had a friend die. Besides them, I had a few people that died when I was young. Few friends. Like, there was a lot. It was weird because they came to the high school and they said 3 of you will be dead before high school's out. And it's so true when the statistics and stuff. But anyways, that was super tragic. And I don't remember if that was there was more, like his parents were already dead or something. It was like a lot of like death in his family, and it was sad. But there was another family in my family, so my who had so many tragedies, and I talked about that before, is it was my my uncle. So Uncle Jimmy, so there was Johnny was the oldest, and which Johnny was the most popular name in old movies. I can't even, everybody there, Johnny, well, Johnny, what about this? So many Johnnies, Johnny. And so my Uncle Johnny, he was the oldest, and he was a farmer, and he didn't take loans or anything. He bought everything with cash. He had airplane. He was like, he was really well off. And he didn't get caught up in debt and stuff. And he had a lot of land, and he was an active farmer. So then Jimmy, he was the next one, and he was also an active farmer. So they were both farmers. Their dad was a farmer. They were farmers in Kansas. And Johnny married Molly, and she was older, and she had already been married and had 2 kids. So he had 2 stepkids that were much older. Then he had 2 kids with her, and that is my other cousins that were around our age that we were raised with. Because the other ones, they were already like teenagers. And so these ones were like our age. They were the same age as my brothers. And so they would all play together and stuff. And so I didn't so much play with them. And they were kind of like really smart, kind of nerd kind of kids. Because their mom was very into taking them to museums and stuff like that. She really wanted them to be smart. And so she was always trying to teach them things, taking them places, trying to teach them things. And so then Jimmy, the one who he had married Mary Alice, and he had 4 kids. And so they were boy, girl, like how my mom's was. And so the oldest, I'm pretty sure, was Sherry. And it was me. And this is where there became a problem, like with the oldest daughter situation. Like there became a big thing with my grandma's ring, and it went to me. And in the family, there was a lot of hard feelings and stuff. So, and then it ended up getting stolen from me in a house robbery. They came in and stole all our stuff. I was so devastated. God, it still makes me sick. And so anyway, and the stuff that, would have no value to them, like, the diamond or whatever, but the setting is just like the ring. It's like, I don't know, it's just sad. And so anyways, they had Sherry and Brett and Judy and Steve. And so when we were little, they were driving down the highway, and because everything was down the highway. When you were a farmer, you weren't in town, so everything was out. So it was always you're way out on these highways. And so they were driving into town or something, and Judy fell out of the car as it was going 60 or 65 miles an hour. She fell out of the car on the highway, which, hell, she ended up getting killed, was on the road. And it's just weird. That has always weirded me out. She didn't die that time. And I don't remember how old she was then. Maybe she was like between 6 and 9 years old or something. And then, but then later, how she ended up dying was, and it was sad because she had just married this millionaire. And he was, because I just said about my dad hung out with all these millionaires and come over and play poker and stuff. And one of them's son had met Judy, and Judy was this blonde, beautiful, stacked chick, and she got taken by him real quick, like this real, sweet farm girl from Kansas. And so he took her, and it was like this Prince Charming kind of story or something. And so she had this, like, where it seemed like this great life. And he had like his own airplane and stuff. And then when they had been married, I think it was like a year or something, and she was out riding her bike, and nobody knew she was pregnant at this point. And so she was out riding her bike, and I talked about this before, but a car was coming up, and so she's riding her bike on the side of the road. This car's coming up and swerves out, and the car behind him is going real fast and doesn't, just hits her and kills her. And then she sat in the morgue for days. Nobody had found her. Or nobody knew who she was because she had no ID or anything on her because she was out riding her bike. And everybody, she was missing. It was really sad. I just remember my uncle and how sad his eyes were, and he kept crying, and his eyes were so red. It was so sad because they had to come down here because she had moved to Texas. And, well, acting like we're in Texas, so. But they were in Kansas, we were in Texas. So they had to come down there, and he was staying with my dad, I guess, and he was crying and stuff. It was really sad. And so that was a tragedy. She was 19. And then oh man, I don't even remember all of it, because I think maybe he got some sickness or something and he died. Then his wife got killed in a tragic car wreck. She was pulling out of a gas station, got hit and killed. Suddenly, I think Sherry got something happen. I don't remember what bad thing happened, but she got killed. And then I don't even know what's going on with Brett, but Steve was so devastated because him and Judy were like twins. They were like only, I don't know, less than a year apart or something. They were really close. And when Judy got killed, he was devastated. Like, he was a wreck. And then, so he ends up at some point getting married and has a child. And then his child ends up having a sickness. He named her after her, and she ends up having a sickness. And she died young. She had not cerebral, the one in your lungs, the mucus stuff where you have to keep doing that. I can't think of what it's called, but yeah, she had that. And then I remember because I was on Facebook then, and she looked just like my cousin too, and she had a transplant. I think she had 2 or 3 transplants of something, and then I think it was like, maybe it was the 3rd one or something, and she told her mom, I just can't do it anymore. I gotta go. I can't do it. So it was really sad. But that's the kind of thing, like, there's some families where it's just like so much death, so many people dying and dying young. And so anyways, and we probably all have families that we've been in contact with or friends with or in our family unit or something where it happens. And it's all different soul stories and stuff like that. There's all different things playing out. And it's not like just because you have a longer life, it has more value. The shortest lives can have the most value. So it's not like, short lives have such an impact. They impact people in a way that, long ones don't. So they have a real significance. And some, there's like some young kids and stuff that come in and die young, and it is to bring attention to certain things. And so, like, especially confirmation, especially right now, while we're having so many that are dying from these diseases and stuff like that, it's to bring attention. It's to create a wave so that we see. And so, you gotta remember, it's, orbs putting on a costume so that they can come in and play out storylines so that we can all learn from these storylines and stuff. And they all have lessons too. It's not like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like, a martyr is very much it's a role play, kind of a very significant one. And so, you know, that could be their whole purpose. Maybe they don't have a bunch of lessons off that. Maybe they are setting a pattern or something. I'm sure we all play all these different parts. I don't think it's just like, oh, those are the martyrs over there. It's only those ones that are martyrs. We're just the peons. No, we're all the same. We all do the same shit. So we all have significant impacts throughout history of mankind. It's just a lot of people just don't realize, you know, the different parts they've played, the impacts that they've made in different lessons in different people's lives and stuff. But we all have. You know, a lot of people feel like that they don't matter, they're insignificant, there's nothing good about them and stuff like that. But no, you're just caught up in this storyline because you as a being have done crazy, magical, sensational things. Things that you would be very proud of. But you also have things that you wouldn't be proud of. You also have things where you've done evil and bad and ignorant and, you know, hateful things. And so, you know, you're capable of both things, and you have both things in your like your wheel of your yin and your yang, you know, you're like your yin and your yang, or whatever. Those two color, the balance between your light and your dark. And it's so much more than what, you know, people get caught up just in this life. And they think like, oh, I'm a good person, I'm better than them, they're a bad people. And that is what they really feed into, that narrative. You know, there's so many people who feed into this narrative of there's good people and bad people and stuff, even to the point like that they'll go and take them out. And there's no telling, I swear to God, like there's no telling. Like you can be sitting in a place like, you know, a garage in Spokane, Washington, and something in Seattle or Chicago or LA or Oakland or any of these places. There's can be shenanigans going on, and you don't feel it. You don't feel it coming. And which on that earthquake, on that volcano thing. So on that movie, the Mount St. Helens movie, so they were having these earthquakes before it went. So they were like 4.5 and 5, which they're already having those. I swear to God, they don't tell us things. Even in this movie, when the one guy's like, we need to evacuate people, we need to tell people and stuff. The government like, no, don't be rushing into crazy shit like that. Like, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. Like, then, you know, that's news for them. Oh yeah, whole town wiped out. Which, you know, another thing too with this Handmaid's Tale is that these people, like, who are so sure that we're going into that, they need to recognize we've been in that. Like, they don't seem to realize. Like, we have been in the hand. They have had places. They have active places where women are treated like breeding stock. They just have them there, and then they make them give birth, and they take those. And they don't take them just to give to rich people for, you know, because the rich people want to be a mom. No, those are used for not good stuff. Not good stuff. A lot of horrible stuff. Just horrible. And that has been going on for a long time. And I would say probably that movie or that series was probably more of a disclosure thing. And it's so crazy too, because then you think, well, how are these authors getting this information? Because when creative people let that creative juices flow and you let stuff come in, you are in contact with this higher mind. And so the information coming in, it can be accurate information. It can, to me, it seems like there's a lot of stuff that's trying to tell us things. And maybe at different times it was different. But like Plato and stuff like that, like it seems like we were always there was always, when you go into some kind of meditation, you're going to get some kind of expansion. You're going to get some kind of where some new knowledge, some new insight, something that you didn't know already. And so I don't know. I feel like that there's something weird about it when people are what was that one? I was just thinking about it. And it was something I was like, it's so accurate. Oh, oh yeah, it was the Bible. I was thinking about, because I see these people talking about, what's going on in Revelations and stuff like that. And just like when I was talking to my mom, and she said, yeah, well, I go with what the Bible said. And the Bible says this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And I started thinking about, so the people who wrote that book very well could have already known what was going to happen. And so they wrote it in there. And it's all just, it's all, it's not, it's like they already knew, and so they wrote it in there. But then the people think like the book is magic or something like that. But I was like, I don't know. And plus Revelations isn't even that old. I don't remember when I heard recently it was written, like, I don't know if it was written in the 60s or whatever, but it was added in. So very well could have been, that they knew what was going to be going down, and they're just like, well, let's just put that in there, because then that's going to really drive it home, where they're all going to be like sitting and waiting on Jesus instead of, seeing what's really going on. And oh yeah, there was something else with a mothership or something else. I don't remember if there was like some other one scene or something. There's all these people who keep on talking to the aliens and stuff, and I don't know. I don't know who I'm talking to. I just know that there's a lot of talking, and there's always people talking. There's always information out there coming in. So I don't know. Some people go and talk directly, but you got all these people like talking to archangels and stuff like that. And then you got that one guy from the 70s who said that the archangels are a part of the crew to keep us in line under the firmament. So, I mean, just don't forget Mother Teresa and MLK. And if you haven't heard me say this before, because on the Charles Manson thing, like they sold that as that he did all of these things when that wasn't how it went down, really. And you go watch the Rob Zombie documentary. That to me was very enlightening, because before it would show Manson always like in court and stuff, and he would always be saying just weird shit. Yeah, well, the man is looking at you all the time, watching you. And then he's going to come after you, and then he's going to make you into something you're not. He would talk in these weird twists and turns and stuff, and everybody would be like, man, how many drugs does this guy do? What the hell is he talking about? But then when you start hearing him talk, and then you understand that he's talking about the CIA, like those people, and then it's all of a sudden, oh, so he was telling us, we just couldn't hear because we all thought he was crazy. But they used him. They exploited him, I think, because he was a criminal. But they just used him as the throw guy or whatever, because they were. There's so much coming out about these people, and then so back then when they were doing all, I don't know, Timothy Leary was probably one of them or something. They were doing all this testing with all these drugs, because they were doing that on soldiers too. There's so many crazy ass fucking studies on what they did to people, like in the I don't know, it's in the disclosure files or what, but they did a lot of crazy testing and stuff with drugs and stuff. I can't even remember. This one keeps coming into my mind. And I don't think a lot of the people knew that they were being dosed with LSD and these what is those things called? hallucinogenics. I don't think that they knew that they were being exposed to these things. Like, they didn't know what was going on. And there was one where all these guys, they all started going crazy. I don't remember if they all killed each other or something. It was really crazy. And, you know, they'll just sit and watch. And so on this, they were testing all these drugs, and that Spawn Ranch was used for making movies. So it had a lot of, you know, people hanging out there, you know. They show it also in that movie where Brad Pitt and who is that other guy? Is it Ryan Gosling or something? Where they're, one of them supposed to be the stand-in or the body double or something, the other actor. And Brad Pitt goes to the ranch. And but so there was like actors or people who wanted to be, it became kind of like a hippie retreat kind of place, you know, where people are sitting around doing drugs and having sex and stuff. And so he had kind of, I don't know, became their like guru. He would talk and they'd all listen, and he would tell them about drugs and stuff. And he had more experience because they were like a lot of young, dumb teenagers who had cushy lives, who were going against the system, you know, with because of Vietnam and everything. And so he'd been in prison. He had had a hard life, so he had things that, man, my stomach's just growling like crazy. He had all these things that he probably knew that they didn't understand or know, and so they'd all sit and listen to him talk. And he wanted to be a musician. He just wanted to be a musician. And so at that ranch, which was used in movies and stuff, so it was all these people hanging out there. So the you know, that three-letter agency was very involved in Hollywood, and so they decided to use these people and test some drugs out on them, see what went down. And so when the killing started, that is when they're like, ooh, shit. And they had to hurry and wash their hands of it, because so they created that whole thing, and they tried to make like that he did it and it was his family, all that stuff. No, they did it. And then they tried to smack dab it on him. And so they marketed him just like how they've done with Donald. So many people who think Donald's such a bad guy. They did the same thing with him. They marketed it as he was such a bad guy to all of us, and so we wouldn't listen to him as a whistleblower. And then they put out these other people as the good guys, like Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks is like a really bad guy. Meryl Streep. Oh yeah, and there's all these people now talking about this new movie. There's a couple things that I forgot to say about it that are so ridiculous. Not only is it, you know, Mexican cartel transitioning movie and stuff, but it's a musical. And in this one song, it is such bad music. It's such this is such proper. This movie is so ridiculous. And so in this song, it's like, I'm going from a penis to a vagina. I had a vagina. No, I'll have a vagina. I'm going from penis to vagina. Vagina. I'm going from a penis to a vagina. It's like, what? Oh, they'll probably be getting awards for that song in no time. It's so, oh my God, the song is so ridiculous. But yeah, it's a musical, and it's all propaganda, and it's up for 13 awards. And so all these people are like, and the name of the movie is a name. It's like a girl's name. And so it's like Emily Casey or something, and that must be his transition name or something. But so yeah, that's the everything just being so ridiculous. So all of this stuff has to go so absurd that it's like laughable, but it's super serious to a lot of people. Like, can you believe this crazy shit? But that's how, you know, it has to wake people up. It has to get crazier and crazier and crazier. And now we're on this weekend, and Donald's just been going and going and going, man. Oh, yeah. Okay. And there's a couple more signs, because I had said all that stuff that Joe had done is going to fall apart because he was illegitimate, and now will come out. And and there's so many different things. I mean, just the whole hand on the thing, which my mom said Donald's wasn't on there. And I was like, well, I don't know. That's probably has more to do with the corporation and stuff, because he's trying to break down the federal government. He's trying to bust up the corporation and all that stuff and get us back to smaller communities and stuff. And I don't know, if the whole thing about the Canada was just to throw in that 51st state thing. It's like, haven't we already had a 51st state? And then even when they started all that stuff with Puerto Rico and stuff, which, I think that's all occupied. They just go and occupy territory and then tell us, yeah, they're part of the United States now. And at the same time, they're like, they're going to kick out the natural people to the, oh my God. I swear to God, I just can't wait to see some of this stuff play out when the tables turn. Like, all their stuff that they push is all absurd and ridiculous nonsense. I just can't wait to see when it starts really, the change starts happening. And it probably, like, with the elders and stuff, like, because they'll go more towards the courts and stuff. And so, some stuff, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of stuff with courts, but there has to be a whole thing that's got to break down between the judicial with to expose the difference between the corporate and the constitutional sides of what was created here. And they're at war. They're in a battle, the light and the dark, because the corporation is the dark. It's like the abyss. It's like it just sucked the life out of you and not give anything back. And the more constitutional way of living is you put in and you get back. You put in, you get back. And that's why he makes like a thing about building communities and playing your part and stuff, because what you put in comes back. But they had made it to where, and we're just running on a treadmill and getting nowhere, and wearing ourselves out. And but they had the magic pill to save the day. And it's so crazy. I just feel like there's so many of these people who are out in the streets right now who are, because it really means something to them. I mean, they don't know that they're all twisted up. They don't know that they're not seeing the truth. And they really feel like, like this is serious stuff, and they're standing up for their beliefs, which is really good. I mean, people need to stand up for their beliefs, so that's a real positive. But they're just being misled. They're just being so misled. That's what's sad. And the way to be misled is because of your own biases, because you're not listening, you're not getting the full picture, because you cut it out. You won't listen to this side, you won't listen to these people and stuff, so you don't get the full spectrum of the story. And so they keep themselves in limitation, and that's what's sad, because they're being so misled. And it's also sad is because so many of them are on like antidepressants, anti-anxiety. They're all carrying all these diagnoses, neurodivergent, autistic, ADHD, depressive disorder, borderline disorder, schizoaffective disorder, ODD, all these different disorders that they have tagged all these people with in school. That is one thing too. A lot of people who get tagged in school with disorders and stuff start having a lot of compassion for the underdog and stuff, and that feeds into that thing, like why they feel like they have to save the world. They have to do this stuff. Like they have to create this underground railroad, and the rest of us stupid ass people, the conservative people, that they don't give a shit about it. It's like, no, you just don't see what's happening. It's happening different than what you think it's happening. They're not trying to go after those people. There's just such a big part of this spiritual thing that people don't see. Like, people don't see what's really happening here. Like, we are waking up our spirits to create a new spiritual world. We're coming out of this slumber that we were like, it's like Sleeping Beauty or something. It's like they put everybody to sleep, and then everybody was just in this dream of trying to succeed, and now everybody's going to wake up. And but when we wake up, that's when we get more control. But it's not like to control the universe. It's to wake up to, like, what you put out comes back to you. What you put out comes back to you, instead of how they have it. And so there's just a lot of natural laws of nature, laws of the universe that are hidden in the metaphysical world. And so but there's natural order, you know, just like fate and destiny. Just like you can't get away from that. You can't change fate and destiny. You can't, just because you want it to be different. Believe you me, like, if you could, I would have done it. I've actively tried to do some of this stuff, and you can't. You cannot change fate and destiny. And when it frustrates you, you have to just sit back and let it play out. You got to let go, let God, man. You got to let stuff play out the way it's meant to play out. And we don't have control, and it can be frustrating. And there is a lot, you know, there is the battle to, you know, in this position I'm in, there is the battle, like, how, you know, what do I do? How far do I push? To me, my thing right now is, you know, there's nothing I can do right now. Like, I've got to pay back this money, and then see, you know, I'm hoping as I'm doing that things will start opening up, and I'll start having a direction, understand the direction I'm going or whatever. But right now, the thing I'm focused on more is the freedom cities. And I think that not only is the disaster stuff, but he's already talking about the housing crisis. So I think, you know, there's tons and tons and tons of people who have had their houses taken by the banks. And so it won't surprise me at all if he doesn't start saying, I'm going to start building these cities. You people who have had your house taken by the bank, come here. We're going to make up for it. You know, we're going to build back better and bigger and all that stuff. So right now, that is my focus is like, well, I'm just going to go towards the freedom cities. And that too is, you know, why I would need a camper or something to go. And maybe I'll have to sleep in my camper for a while if I go to get involved in building up one of those cities. So, but that is, you know, in my mind, that is the door or something I'm watching for something to open up. And not so much like, because I don't know, I just got to see how things play out. You just got to go with the flow. And then that's though where you start being like, well, should I be looking every day? And then it's like, well, why are you going to look? You don't have any money to go get anything. You got to first get the money. And then you got to decide which way you want to do your money. You want to go get a little place, rent a little trailer or something out on some land, and then you're kind of stuck in that, when I know this is all temporary. And the rental is going to be like, I don't know, the housing, when the banks crash, and they say, you know, they've already said it like so many times, that loans are illegal. And so once that is like accepted knowledge with confirmation, accepted knowledge with the collective, then that will let me see, what was I talking about? The loans being illegal. Once that's accepted and people realize that you know, that they don't have to pay these things, then the what was I gonna say? And the banks go. The people. Oh yeah. Okay. Because then the people who have the mortgages and stuff, see, that'll be written off. But the people who are renting, they're gonna still be screwed. That's going to still be a fight. So I don't know that I want to go and get involved in that. I would rather buy a camper or something and figure that out, you know, than to go get involved in a rental thing, and then it's going to be a battle because the people can keep saying, well, no, you have to pay me, even though they're not having to pay. So, and it's going to play out. Like, there's going to be some of that. And it's going to just keep showing the corruption. And the corporation is so corrupt, but there's individuals who have bought into the same thing with the same corruption. They're you know, it's just a greedy part of our population that has to play out. And so, you know, all those things have to play out. But we're getting close to the time, so let's look at my tooth, which to me, it looks like the black hole is like almost completely, it's like everything is becoming that gray and that orange. And so, and that's what they kept showing me. So it'll go through that kind of phase, and then it will get to the white. So, oh, that's crazy. It really does work. Your teeth really do heal. I'm not doing anything magical. I'm just, you know, focused on trying to make sure I get my minerals in. And minerals, and I don't even take a whole bunch of vitamins. I take vitamin D, I take biotin, and then just magnesium. I drink, I have my little fish in my teapot. So I drink the iron water, and then I have my copper water over here. And so I just do that. Oh yeah, and I've been getting these leg cramps again. I know somebody said to drink pickle juice, which is like, oh, I do have some pickles I made in there. Maybe I'll try and take a swig, but ooh. And then, but I think I'm going to take some mineral salts and see if that does something. Because I would think it's got to be something with potassium or something. So anyways, I've got some Celtic salt. I'll take a couple granules of that. So anyways, I think we've covered all the stuff that I can cover in this time. But I will, so I'm still going to go for the Monday and Wednesday and Saturday to go do the downloads until over the next couple of weeks, because I'm really focusing on getting this Starlink on the 19th. So we'll see. But I think that will make my life so much easier. It really is. Oh, like, man, like to just go find time to go sit in a parking lot for 2 or 3 hours. Just like, it's so uncomfortable. So anyways, there's got to be a better way. And so I got to put my energy towards the better way. So anyways, just remember what we're doing here. Learning how to love ourselves, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to us. So I will talk to you later. Bye.